How you doing, Iowa Hunter, coming at you. It's September 21st here at the Rockin' Bee, and a little bit of unusual video today. I managed to go on a little getaway, and while I was gone, I got caught up in some wildfires, and it had nothing to do with the fire, but I ripped the bicep to my arm, I crushed my right femur, so the farm's actually in better shape than it's ever been since I owned it. Everything is going fantastic, and I can't even start therapy for 3 months, so it's kind of a bad deal, but luckily I got good family and friends. Always been there to help out. I got a really good neighbor. Comes over at the drop of a hat for anything. My son and my nephew, they just seeded down a field for me with winter wheat and put the urea down and raked it all in. My son-in-law, he comes over with both my grandkids, Tank and Buckshot, and they string electric fence for me around my beans. That was before I was even injured, so I'm kind of at the mercy of my family and friends to keep the farm going right now. But it's a real interesting video. My nephew went ahead and took the camera back, and he was just going to video. And I said, go ahead and narrate it, and so I'm just going to use it. He did a really good job. And it's going to be a real interesting video when you see what's going on up there. And I want to tell you, I watched a lot of other hunting videos, and people are always trying to drive you toward, one particular seed, and if you don't use that seed, you're crazy or you're whatever. And I put different seeds up against each other year after year, and this year I was putting up Border Patrol against the green screen for my blocker, and they both did fantastic. I haven't got an actual video on it yet. To me, the green screen seems have a little bit more base to it and be a little sturdier, but they're both very thick. I think they're both pretty tall. I mean, some of it's over 12 foot tall. And you'll see in the video, it's just knocked down. We had no rain all summer, so the seed that I put in the ground that grew out of pretty much no rain at all. And I got a heck of a Basica field in there. When he's showing you from the platform, it goes over the hill and goes clear down the hill. You're just seeing a part of it in the back 40, and then there's more in the bottom area, and you'll see the differences between fencing it and not fencing it with electric fence. And I put up big-n-beasty seed, which I'll try a different seed. I'm not afraid to try a different seed. But the year I put up big-n-beasty, if you go back in my videos, and I put that against some Whitetail Institute, I had the same problem I see some other people have, and that's they didn't even get germination, or they did, and it only came up a couple inches. And I don't have no miracle soil. My plot's 3/4 of a mile away from behind my house, and it's on a hill. It's not even that good of soil. So that stuff just grows. I use it. If it works, you use it. Maybe it doesn't work on your farm, but I always suggest that you try a couple different kinds of seed, try some different things, and see what works for you. What works for you might not work for somebody else. I'm not selling seed for anybody. I do like Whitetail Institute's clover, chicory, and alfalfa. I don't think you can beat their clover plots, but I'd be willing to try something else. A clover plot's kind of an investment over time, so you want to make sure you get a good one, because you can put some money into it and it lasts a long time. Anyway, I'm going to use his video narration. I may slip a few photos in there, but I just want to thank the people that help me out all the time, and and you're going to get to see a heck of a farm this year. So with that, I'm going to try to splice in the rest of this video and get rolling. Happy hunting this year. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Welcome to another episode at the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. This episode we're going to take a tour of all the summer's work. In front of us we can see green screen. And just for reference, the Kubota's in there, so we can see just how tall this green screen gets. Several places we're looking at over 12 feet. Just phenomenal. Big heavy stalks. Even with the winds that we get up on the hill here, it's held strong. This is a recent project on the Rockin' Bee Ranch. Still got some tools up here. Just yesterday we seeded this area down for the second time with winter wheat and some fertilizer. This area was just cleared late this summer of a bunch of trees and undergrowth, and so we initially attempted to establish Basicas, but given the severity of the drought we've had this year, combined with the heavy browsing of the deer and unstable soil conditions due to the recent disturbance, the Basicas did not take very well. But we're confident that the winter wheat is going to take very well and will establish a nice foraging cover in this area. This area used to be pretty well trees and vegetation, except for this outside edge you see right here. We seeded this down yesterday and ran the rake over it, and you can see we got good coverage. We should have great seed to soil contact, and we've got some rain on its way. So really looking forward to seeing what this will turn into here this summer. Or here this fall. And we got the old rubbing post there. So this should be an awesome area for some great rutting action here coming up. Left a couple trees in the center there. Nice little spot on the top of this hill. We got really nice timbered ridge and a big draw bottom there. Awesome little cruising spot for those bucks, and good cover. Not much disturbance in here. This whole side over here was recently cleared of trees and vegetation. As you can see, we got a little bit of veg that came back, and we have a few Basicas in here that did germinate and come up and weren't completely browsed down by the deer. But we got a lot of woody debris in here that needs to break down, but we got her planted into wheat, and I'm quite confident that we're going to see some awesome results here. So here in a couple months, this will most likely be 3 to 4 foot tall. So we'll move on to the next spot.
Just want to
want to show some more of this green screen. Even in heavy shaded areas, this green screen still performs fairly well. So you can see this area has lots of canopy cover, but yet we had green screen that's still established over 10 feet tall. So as you get into more shade, you'll see that it gets shorter and shorter, which would be expected with just about any species in a woodland environment. So shade always suppresses growth in most species. So all right, welcome back to the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch 24-hour buffet. Talking about dynamite. Look at these Basicas and turnips in here. Wow. Unbelievable. Would you look at that? I mean, here's my hand, and I can't reach around the base of that baby. Just got this fence put up here a few weeks ago. Really trying to deter these whitetails out of here, at least the inside pocket. They have plenty of food at their disposal, but trying to save some of this for that late season forage. Without this fence, these deer will just absolutely mow this down. Talking about deer 24/7 up here, 24/7, 365. And if you look off over to the other side, we have some awesome clover and chicory growing in there. Those deer are munching and crunching in here all the time. This is going to provide some awesome, outstanding late season forage when those deer are running hard at the peak of the rut. They're looking to fill those bodies up and put some weight on before we get into the depths of winter here in Iowa. So this fence is really doing its job. Got the 3 strands with a ribbon on the outside, really helping protect this this forage here for later in the season. But there's no shortage of natural forage to include the woody browse and also all of the clover and chicory that's out here. So just an awesome turnout on the Basicas this year. Couldn't ask for a better Basica plot, even considering the major drought that we've had across the state. So really just looking great. As you can see, this plot just goes on and on, wraps down here, and this is all open right now. So the deer have open forage here, and you can see where they've browsed off this whole edge already. So they're really working this. They're just eating a lot of the tops right now. You know, the actual turnips themselves haven't sweetened up at this stage. So, and you can see this middle section here, they just really been hammering down on. But what a turnout. Just absolutely phenomenal turnout. You know, it's a struggle when you're trying to establish these plots and you never really know what you're gonna get. You know, there's so much to do with weather and soil conditions and timing, and I want to say this is probably one of the best plots that's, as far as the Basicas and turnips, that's turned out here on the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. So very fortunate to have this and hopefully be able to provide some quality forage for these deer late in the season. I just wanted to get up here. We're on the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch, future site of one of the shooting shacks here. We're about 10 foot up, and I just wanted to provide a little bit better elevated view of our Basica here in the back 40 this year. Wow. So these are all unfenced on this side. When we get over here, we can see we just have this phenomenal, I'm talking phenomenal, plot. "24-hour buffet here at the Rockin' Bee." And then if you look outside, that's all chicory and clover over there. And those deer are in there all day long, twice on Sunday. So absolutely wonderful. Hey, we're gonna head on over and check out the bean plot here on the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. Stand by. I just wanted to provide a quick idea of what these turnips look like. You cannot beat that right there. I mean, that is a turnip if I've ever seen one. Purple top turnips, I'm telling you, the deer are gonna tear these up. That's like candy to deer come late season. Once these babies start to sweeten up, look at the roots on that baby. I mean, I can't even get my hand around that thing. Not even at all. Gotta love that great Iowa soil. Unbelievable. Sweet candy right there. Hey, you're here at the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. Check it out. You want to talk about dynamite? Look at these beans. I'm talking 6 foot tall in areas. I mean, these babies are gonna be dynamite. Stacked and packed with pods. I'm telling you, they're just starting to turn. Just starting to turn on the edges. The centers are still pretty green, but they're starting to turn. I just wanted to pull one out to show you from top to bottom. I mean, just look at the pods on here. I counted 36 on here, and that's just one. I mean, they are just phenomenal. Just loaded. Absolutely loaded. And this whole plot is just stacked and packed with beans. It's so thick you can't hardly walk through it. Absolutely phenomenal. And it goes and goes. Clean over that other corner, way down to the bottom. And of course, we're running the hot fence on here because we want to keep this buffet ready for the late season for these deer. You know, once they get into that rut, they're going to be burning a lot of calories, and they're going to be looking for this late season forage. But I do want to mention, you know, here at the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch, we're looking at all the elements that combine together to provide great opportunity for whitetails to thrive and other wildlife species. And that doesn't mean just food plots. And so here at the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch, we do a lot of stuff, and this year it's really paid off with our water sources because we've had such a drought here in southern Iowa that water has been scarce. But here at the Rockin' Bee, have no fear because there's plenty of water around. And I tell you what, this water source is active about 24 hours a day. So, one of several. It's really paid off. Awesome source of water for these deer in this hot, dry summer we've had. But I tell you, how these beans produce the way they did, I have no idea, but I think it's hard work on the owner's part. But I mean, we're just looking at a phenomenal turnout on these beans. And this plot just goes and goes. Just recently came in here and got this electric fence cleared back a little bit. The veg was growing up in it pretty strong, but once things brown up, it's gonna help that out a little bit too. This plot just goes and goes, clean down to the bottom. Unbelievable. Like I said, 24-hour buffet here at the Rock and Bee Buck Ranch. Let's take another look at this clover alfalfa, or clover chicory that we have out here. This is open all the time, and the deer just mow this. Just absolutely mow it. They eat so much they often bed down here just because I think they eat so much they just want to bed down. They love this clover. It's absolutely dynamite. Best bang for your buck as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, take a quick pause here. We're gonna head down to the bottom plot, check that out, see what we got going there for the whitetails, and stand by. All right, you're back here with the Rock and Bee Buck Ranch. And you know, I was driving back from the buffet up top, you know, the clover, beans, chicory, awesome, Basicas, turnips, just going crazy. 24-hour buffet up top. And as I was coming down back towards the bottom, I was looking at this washout creek here and all these walnut trees and all this woody brow, and I was thinking to myself, you know, all too often we get wrapped up in these food plots, and they're great. They're an awesome additional food source, but I tell you what, without the combination of this woody brow, this understory growth that we see here on the Rock and Bee Buck Ranch, we would not hold the whitetails that we do without this. This is a natural part of their habitat. Their diet requires it, and it's absolutely dynamite. These deer are in here 24/7, bedding and feeding on this woody brow. You could have all the food plots in the world, but it's not going to make much difference if you don't have this great understory woody brow. They just love this stuff. Absolutely phenomenal food. Food and cover for these whitetails here on the Rock and Bee Buck Ranch. Anyways, just wanted to check in with that quick little clip here, and we're gonna head on down to the bottom and we'll check out the final buffet here on the Rock and Bee. Hey, welcome back to the Rock and Bee Buck Ranch. We're at the bottom plot now, and look at this green screen. That's over a 10-foot tall platform right there, folks, and it's towering above it. Just absolutely phenomenal. On the other side, we have another open field, neighbor's property. And I tell you, this green screen is something to be reckoned with. It's so thick, you know, the deer don't even like to go through it. But I will tell you that this clover plot is alive at nighttime. 24/7, the deer are in here feeding. And I'll show you just the kind of devastation that these deer will do to your seasonal food plots. And this was intentionally planted with the to allow the deer to have some summer forage here. But look at these beans. I mean, these beans are thick as thieves in here, but they are absolutely mowed down to the ground. Let's take a look here. So we see we got a beanstalk there. There's a couple pods left on there, but literally, you know, maybe 4 or 5 inches off the ground, and it's all the way around the whole edge of this clover plot. Don't get me wrong, this clover is dynamite. 24/7 buffet right here. But I just wanted to highlight really what these fences do to save those food plots for late season forage. Without them, everything here on the Rock and Bee would look like this. The deer just absolutely decimate it. Like I said, this wraps all the way around this plot, and the deer have pretty much mowed it. There's a little bit right here that's maybe 8 inches tall that they haven't quite mowed down as much, but I'm telling you, these beans had no chance. Look at that green screen. Absolute lockdown. Talk about privacy. And you can tell these deer just love it in here. Now we'll go up here to the top where we've got a fence on one portion of this beans, and you will see where it goes from this to, again, just absolute dynamite. I mean, just look at that. Those beans are so thick. All the way right up to the green screen sorghum. And I'm talking loaded. I mean, look at those pods. I mean, there's so much food in here, it's ridiculous. Top to bottom. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal turnout this year. And this clover's nothing to shake your head at, I'll tell you that much. This clover field has been worked extensively by deer, and it's really been one of the best clover plots here. But we got this rich soil here in this bottom, and man, it's just really went well. Really went well. I think we got a little chicory mixed in here as well. And actually, we ended up pulling the controller for this bean plot here to put it on the Basicas up top, and even just having the fence up because it was active most of the summer, the deer are continuing to stay out of here, so we'll hope that holds true. Just wanted to take a quick shot here. Going up through the center, we got green screen on both sides. You can see it's clean over the top of the Kubota, and it goes all the way back up to the ranch house here, so really just provides those deer a sense of security. I mean, I'm 5'11", and I couldn't even think about reaching the top of this green screen. Absolutely, just phenomenal stuff. And I mean, we're talking really good stock size, very sturdy. I mean, it takes a lot. We get some good heavy winds here, and it has not even come close to blowing this stuff down. And it just keeps going and going all the way up the hill. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, this has been another episode for the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. We just wanted to highlight some of the hard work that's happened here on the ranch and our dynamic management that we're trying to introduce here to the landscape. We want to ensure that these deer have awesome, not only the deer, but all wildlife have awesome overwintering food sources, and we want to make sure that they have lots of natural food sources as well. And as always, remember, the Lord doesn't always give you what you want, but He always gives you exactly what you need. From our family to yours, we hope you have a great fall, and thanks for tuning in to the Rockin' Bee Buck Ranch. Until next time, keep it classy.